Have you noticed lately that married men are becoming more and more comfortable admitting that they hate their wives online? Whether it's through jokes or their action, they don't even try to hide it anymore. Gone are the days when marriage was idolized by so many people, especially women. Nowadays, the tables have turned. Even the women who built their entire platforms around uplifting men and feeding into their delusions are being treated worse than the women who choose to stay away from those incel narcissistic types of men. It's almost like no matter amount of loyalty, submission and care you give to these men, you are never enough. And you're doing this to someone who has already decided that they don't like you to begin with. So let's get into it.
That's your question. Are you in love with your wife? No, me either.
What?
I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's
Okay.
it's overrated.
No, I'm not
listen,
in love. Then why-
listen.
okay.
See.
Y'all need to explain that shit to me then.
I had a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife.
Why?
I don't even know her.
You can see them laughing and giggling like it's no big deal. According to him, it's just a buzzword. And you can hear the other guy respond with, "I had a feeling." What character has he shown to you that made you add a feeling of your friend not being in love with his wife? You wanna know why? Because of how they talk ill about their wife. Majority of these men never truly loved their wives. They just needed them around to cook, clean, and warm their beds whenever they wanted, or even bear them kids. Many of them throw this word around so that they can cheat and not feel guilty about it.
Just left the barbershop, and you know the barbershop discussions. And it was the first time where I couldn't relate. I've never heard so many men, married men, complain about their wives and women. They were talking about they don't trust them. If they die, the stuff going to the kids or to other family members. And I'm like, hey, I can't even relate to none of this, to be honest. I love my wife. My wife is amazing. I trust her 1,000%. But then I asked the question, and it got real quiet. I said, hey man, why y'all marry these women y'all don't like? It got real quiet.
Because most of them are too lazy to level up and get the woman they really want. After all, the women they really want did not want them, so they settle for whoever is available at that time just to prove to society that they're a family man, even though they know from the beginning of the relationship that they don't love these women. This is a deeper issue when it comes to men because of their low self-esteem, and society made them believe that their emotions doesn't count while suffering in silence.
We don't like the hair weave. We don't like the eyelashes, the fake eyelashes. We don't like all the makeup, right? That's making them look like Yannies and Transformers. It seems like the more and more they wear it, it seems like they are either deaf to what we're saying, or they don't want to hear what we're saying, or they just want to be opposite of us so badly that they continue to do the things that we tell them that we don't like.
Who cares?
You?
The type of women he's describing are the types of women he wants her to go above and beyond just to prove to him that she loves him while receiving crumbles in return. No disrespect to my natural queens, but there are so many women out there who are naturally beautiful with no makeup, wigs, nails and all of that. Yet they won't go for women like that. They will be looking for the ones that will bend the rules for them, all in the name of love, looking like an African bush dog.
I've been sitting in this car for about 2 hours now because I refuse to go inside and be with my wife. Like, I hate her that much. The only reason why I'm with her is because I'm broke and I don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I can't afford to rent on my own, and she makes more money than me. So, I mean, if I was to get a good job tomorrow, I'd be gone just like that.
Even this is just a rage bait, but deep down I don't know why this guy pick up his phone, set up the camera and record a video like this. And so many men were agreeing with him in the comment section before they realized that this was just a skit.
What do you do if you don't like your wife? I didn't like mine for a while, actually for about 5 years. She was critical, she was honest, she was hurting. And at the time, I thought it was all completely unreasonable. How dare she be upset with me? How dare she call me out for my stuff and tell me that it's hurting her? Nobody had ever done that before. Nobody had held me to that standard. I didn't realize that's what I was getting into when I got married. I thought marriage was a make me better plan. That it would just, her coming into my life would just improve everything about my quality of life, and I was thinking about it for me. And really what she did was expose the pain that was pre-existing inside of me. The underdeveloped parts of me, the unhealed parts of me, the immaturities I had, the coping mechanisms. And I projected my pain onto her. I didn't like her. I didn't like that she had done that to me, that she had dismantled my ego, my perception of life and how I showed up in the world.
This is why most men view women as their therapist, maid, sex worker, child maker, and the list goes on. They don't view women as their equal parts. And the day you complain, the day you question his authority as a man, most especially in front of his friends or in the presence of his family, you are no longer considered a good woman. You ask for what you put back in the relationship, you are no longer considered a good woman.
But I may never get a chance to divorce her. Before you jump down my throat, let me give some backstory to this situation. I, 28 male, have my wife, Amber, 28 female, and we've been married for the last 10 years. Today, I woke up in the morning, grabbed her out of bed, showered her, wiped her ass, fed her, and then sat her inside of her favorite chair with her favorite show playing. My wife, for all intents and purposes, is a shell, a body of the person that she used to be. A year and a half ago, my wife got into a tragic car accident. She got hit in a T-bone collision going 75 while running a red light. I stopped loving my wife 2 months ago. And I know what you might be thinking, it was because she was in a vegetable state. No, that was not it. I still loved my wife inside of that state and took care of her every single day. I still take care of her every single day. The reason I hate my wife was because of what I found in her phone. I was going to do a collage of our relationship and put it inside of our room to show how commemorative we are together. All the trips we took together, all the places we have been, everything we have visited on my dime because I loved her and I cared for her and I wanted her to have the best things in the world. Well, when I went into her phone, I kind of saw some messages from the exact day of the accident. It pretty much was, hurry up. Where are you? I need you right now. I'm on the way. I love you. I had trouble getting away from him. Who's him? I'm him. I looked at the phone and I was shocked. I've never seen this name before, but after scrolling through the messages, I saw pictures, I saw videos, I saw things that I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Barbados, I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Japan, I'm sitting there like, wait, we went all over the world, and you did this next door. You did this down the street. You did this a block away. Okay, this is ridiculous. So I had to see who the man was. I had to find him. I had to know who is this great man. And I went to his page, and I saw he was inside of a relationship. He got into a relationship 2 days after my wife's accident, after the lady that he was smashing on got put into a military situation, got vegetabilized. I can't believe it.
I thought it was for better for worse. Why is he complaining? Sir, that is past tense, okay? What does that have to do with the other guy? Was he expecting him to come to their home and take care of his wife with him? I'm confused. To me, I think maybe the things he's complaining about are sexual activities. But you cannot compare someone that she's just sleeping with to you that is a matrimonial husband. If you know, you know. I'm not trying to be sensitive here, okay? If he knows he's tired, he should just drop her off in a retirement home instead of making multiple videos and looking for sympathy online. At least he has a good reason for hating his wife, other than those men that be hating their wife for no reason.
Yes. I'm coming.
Can you act happy to see me?
Hi, I'm back.
Did you remember to get the groceries out for?
Oh, completely slipped my mind.
How can you forget?
That works.
Okay, but you still could have gotten the groceries.
What do you mean?
I've been at home looking after the kids.
See if you have the groceries. What, like 20 minutes?
I could have, but I've been looking after the kids, so I didn't have any free time.
Ooh, such a hard job. You want to switch jobs?
Who are you talking to like that? Okay. Why are you always dropping your stuff on the floor? Like, why are you always making a mess? Why do you always drop your stuff on the floor?
Let me pick it up then.
Excuse you? Ugh, every time you come home from work, you're always on your phone watching a video, speaking to your friends. Why do you never spend time with me?
What? Bro, I've just got in bed a minute ago.
Okay, you could use that minute to spend time with me.
I know this is just a skit, but this is most women's reality, okay? And when it comes to skits like this, majority of these men, they don't know it's skit. Because, you know, they are dumb. They be in the comment section lamenting, complaining, turning the comment section to a therapy session.
I used to go around asking men for advice about getting married, and now that I'm 4 years in, I realize that a lot of these men didn't like their wives. After I posted that video, this comment read, "Can you talk more about liking your wife?" So many men seem to generally dislike and seem to be annoyed by women. They love but don't like. What I've both seen and learned as I've grown is that men will marry women who serve them even if they don't like them. That's how patriarchy conditions them. For example, if you ask a cis man what he likes about his partner, he'll soon begin listing the ways in which she serves him. You know what I mean? Like, I think society conditions men to not like women. Like, you love them, you feel a sense of duty towards them, you get one and you take care of them because that's what men do, we're taught. And you're hearing your whole life from church, the men in your life, the media, that women talk too much, they don't listen, they're disagreeable, they're emotional. Cis men tend to like other men in non-romantic ways. They like being around their guys and spending time with them, and sometimes these men talk to each other about how much they don't like their wives. But men will marry women who serve them, who are submissive and obedient and who know their place. Because as I've said, in the eyes of patriarchy, there can be no relationship without control. All liking someone is feeling attraction towards them or taking pleasure in them, delighting in them. Like, I like my wife, I like talking to her and being around her. Even if we're not doing stuff together, I feel better knowing that we're occupying the same space. I like her laugh and the way she speaks. Sometimes I just like watching her exist. Something about it fills me up, inspires me, reminds me. Like, she's my person, my favorite person. Seeing her makes me feel happy and safe. Yes, we're people that argue. Sometimes we annoy each other. But because we like each other, it doesn't take long for either of us to begin a resolution. Because who wants to not be talking to someone they actually like for the sake of pride?
I'm glad this is coming from a man. Because for a woman to tell a man how we are feeling, how we are hurting, they never listen. So maybe if the message is coming from a man, they will listen. Because when we tell them how we feel, they complain. They say we are nagging, we are angry, we are too emotional. But we just want to be loved in return, just as we love them. It's as simple as that.
If you don't understand these rules, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna constantly get used and abused by women. You're gonna always get fucking, thrown to the side of the road, cheated on, or just like basically like taken advantage of. That's what's gonna happen. Girls are gonna constantly talk back to you. They're not gonna take you seriously. They're gonna disrespect you, and you're just gonna live a miserable life. This is decades of fucking experience. Living with your girl is not a good idea in most situations. It really isn't. Well, Myron, I live with a girl. That actually makes me less gay. No, it makes you very gay because your girl's gonna turn you into a fucking bitch. Women are fucking lazy. They're not like us.
You are yelling in front of a camera with a microphone 7 days a week, and yet you have the audacity to call women lazy. Trying to recruit a bunch of lonely men with a lot of unresolved trauma. Just because the women you dated kept rejecting you doesn't mean you can't find a woman for yourself. Have you ever tried looking within yourself to figure out what the actual problem is and why most of these women keep rejecting you? Can someone please tell me why men are always looking for respect? Whether it's in Africa, America, Europe, they're always talking about respect. Did they lose it in World War II or did they lose it in somewhere in their family lineage? They are constantly looking for something they can't offer a woman. Why? By the way, what does living with a man has to do with you being gay? If you're gay, just say that and stop projecting your insecurities onto your audience. I'm sure if you haven't had sex for years with a woman, you will eventually cave in and go for what's available.
I did not care about my wife's feelings for a long time. I felt like she was overly emotional. She was too sensitive. I felt like she was making me responsible for her feelings. I felt like she was always projecting her feelings onto me. I didn't have compassion for her when it came to her feelings, nor did I have empathy and be able to put myself in her shoes to understand why she was feeling the way that she did. But I realized early on in our relationship that I did not have the capacity for her feelings because I wasn't in tune with my own feelings. I was always taught to man up and to be emotional, or for a man to have feelings was weak. I never dealt with the feeling outside of anger. So I did not know how to process feelings of inadequacy or insecurity or not feeling good enough. And not only was it detrimental to my mental health and my emotional health, but it was also detrimental to my spiritual health. And at the end of the day, it affected my relationship greatly. I had to go to therapy. I had to get a mediator. I had to go to counseling. I had to do the things so I could identify my own feelings, so I could be in tune with my own feelings. I was underexposed to healthy male examples that leaned into their feelings instead of sweeping them under the rug and just manning up. When I first realized that I was allowed to have feelings, then I was able to be more empathetic and compassionate with my wife in regards to her feelings.
Imagine how many years it took that woman to put up with all his BS. It took him long enough for it to affect his own mental health before he could finally understand what his wife had been dealing with. I'm glad he did something about it, most especially for being a black man. Because as a black man, if you tell your friends or family that you're in therapy, they automatically think you're crazy or you're mentally unstable.
I remember this man looked at me dead in my face while we were laying in bed, and he shook me awake. And he was like, I just had to wake you up. I said, why? What's wrong? He was like, you look really ugly when you sleep. I said, excuse me? He was like, I don't know. You just have your bonnet on. You ain't got your glasses on. You ain't got no earrings on. You ain't got your rings on. You sleep with your mouth open. I just never noticed, like, you low-key kind of ugly, especially when you sleep. I got up out that bed, took a shower, put my clothes on, and I left. I didn't say a word. He was like, oh, you're leaving? And I just looked at him. Got my stuff, walked out, got in the car, and drove back to my apartment. This was a long time ago. Drove back to my apartment. Never spoke to him again. I don't know where that man is at right now. And he don't know where I'm at. Because what makes you think that was okay to say?
You can't even sleep in peace. The audacity of this man waking her up just to tell her that nonsense. Mind you, she's beautiful. I mean, she is gorgeous. I'm sure he knew he was being disrespectful. Going out your way to hurt someone you claim you love speaks volume about your character. This man was trying to see if he could break down her self-esteem, and I'm glad she left without any explanation. This is the reason why I don't explain myself too much whenever I cut people off. Because even if I try to explain to people like this that something they did or said hurts me, they will never understand. That's why whenever you see the signs from the beginning of a relationship, respectfully, just walk away. Okay? Over time, it only gets worse. You're not a fixer, you're not a therapist, and you're definitely not his mother. Leave him alone. He will learn by himself.
So if there's one trend that I just really enjoy seeing, it's recently divorced middle-aged men who are bitter and angry at the world. They thought that by getting divorced and being free and single, that they would get all the women in the world, and they thought that their marriages, their bitter, ugly wives, and their wedding rings were the only things stopping them from getting all this free play and getting all these young, hot, beautiful women. They always overestimate their options. They think that when they get divorced, there'll be someone like Brad Pitt, who's divorced, but Brad Pitt is divorced and extremely wealthy and also extremely good looking, and he's also a very famous person. So he has options. You, however, do not have Brad Pitt's options because you are not Brad Pitt. So you see them like maybe 3 or 6 months post-divorce, and they're so happy to be free, and I finally got rid of that ball and chain, finally got that bitch off my back, and I don't have to worry about those fucking kids anymore, and man, all the women are just gonna come crawling out of the woodwork for me. I'm just it. I am just that guy. And then 1, 2, 3 years down the line, they find out, no, you are not that guy. You overestimated your options. You overestimated your hotness. You underestimated the fact that you're poor and you are not wealthy, so you don't have options that other men have. You underestimated, or rather overestimated, your ability to actually talk to women and to get them to open up to you and be charming. Yeah, men better than you have all of those things going for them, and you don't. So now they're bitter, divorced men in middle age, angry at the entire world, and you see them becoming the most violently conservative, Republican, Trump-supporting, incel podcast subscribing type dudes at their big ages of like 45 and 50 and stuff. You see it all the time. And
this is why I always say men are the most selfish group of people. Even the most loving and caring man will often put himself before anyone else. In this day and age, to find a man with emotional intelligence is by luck and connection. Let's be honest, mental health is still heavily stigmatized when it comes to men. Admitting they need therapy isn't just about asking for help. It's about risking being labeled crazy, weak, or mentally unstable by friends, family, or even people that they look up to. That stigma has kept far too many people suffering in silence. At the same time, I can't ignore how often women are expected to carry the emotional weight in relationships. They are expected to be patient, understanding, forgiving, and even supportive for years, while their own emotional needs are overlooked. Then when things finally reach a breaking point and the man experiences the same emotional pain, that's when the seriousness of the situation is finally acknowledged. It's frustrating to watch, and it's a pattern that many people recognize. That is all I have to say for this topic. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.